Crowned, she wasn't just the last pharaoh of Egypt. She was the last light of a 3,000-year civilization. A queen of wisdom, power, and divine foresight, misunderstood by history, but never forgotten by time. Sun with face Cleopatra, the last pharaoh of the sun. In the heart of ancient Egypt, where the Nile carved its emerald path through golden sands, a queen rose, the final flame of a civilization that had burned bright for 3,000 years. Her name was Cleopatra VII Philopator, daughter of the Nile, living Isis, the last pharaoh of the sun. She was not born merely to rule, but to understand. In Alexandria, the city of scholars, poets, and stars, Cleopatra grew among scrolls, not swords. Her tutors were mathematicians and philosophers from the great library, where knowledge was sacred and wisdom divine. She spoke 9 languages: Greek, Egyptian, Hebrew, Aramaic, Latin, Persian, Ethiopian, Troglodytic, and Parthian. In an age where kings commanded, Cleopatra conversed. Her words carried both reason and warmth. She did not demand obedience, she inspired it. She studied the stars, the mathematics of irrigation, the rhythm of the Nile, and the nature of power itself. From her youth she understood, true strength lies not in war, but in wisdom. At just 18, she ascended a broken throne. Egypt was wounded, torn by debt, drought, and betrayal. Yet Cleopatra saw beyond the chaos. She envisioned an Egypt reborn, prosperous, sovereign, and eternal. She reformed taxes to lift her people. She stabilized Egypt's coinage with gold. She reopened trade routes to Ethiopia and India. Under her rule, the Nile's rhythm became Egypt's heartbeat again. Her people flourished. Her nation breathed anew. But Cleopatra's greatest weapon was not her beauty. It was her diplomacy. She saw Rome, vast, powerful, dangerous, not just as a threat, but as an opportunity. In 48 BCE, she met Julius Caesar, and the world changed. Wrapped in a carpet, she entered his palace, not as a gift, but as a strategist. She offered Caesar Egypt's wealth and wisdom, and in return gained his protection. Together they defeated her brother Ptolemy XIII, and Cleopatra became Egypt's undisputed queen. With Caesar, she built more than alliance. She built a vision, an empire guided by intellect, not iron. A union of Africa and Europe, where knowledge ruled might. Their son, Caesar Ion, became a symbol of that dream, the child of sun and empire. But fate, jealous as always, intervened. When Caesar was murdered in Rome, Cleopatra foresaw the storm. Yet her mind never faltered, she turned again to diplomacy. In 41 BCE, she met Mark Antony, Caesar's ally, a warrior of Rome's heart and pride. Their meeting in Tarsus became legend. She sailed to him on a golden barge, perfumed with incense, her presence divine as Isis reborn. She came not as a lover seeking protection, but as a queen securing the future of her nation. Antony saw in her more than beauty. He saw a partner, an equal, a visionary. Together, they dreamed of an empire that would unite East and West. She bore him twins, Alexander Helios and Cleopatra Selene, the sun and moon of destiny. Her diplomacy reached beyond Rome. She strengthened Egypt's armies, forged new trade, and dreamed of making Alexandria the center of learning and power for all the world. She envisioned universities, temples, and libraries that would outlast even Rome itself. But Rome's heart turned cold. Octavian, Caesar's adopted heir, envied her brilliance. He painted Cleopatra as a seductress, but what he truly feared was her vision, her power to unite through intellect, not conquest. Then came the Battle of Actium, 31 BCE. The sea burned, the winds betrayed, and Rome's shadow consumed the horizon. Yet even in defeat, Cleopatra stood unbroken, still pharaoh, still divine. When Octavian entered Alexandria, he expected a captive. Instead, he found a queen who would not kneel. She chose death over chains, perhaps by the bite of the asp, perhaps by her own royal poison. It was her final act of sovereignty, her last declaration of freedom. Rome tried to erase her name, to shatter her image, to silence her story. But legends do not die. Cleopatra was not a seductress. She was a sovereign, a scientist, a strategist, a visionary diplomat. For nearly 20 years, she preserved Egypt's independence, while empires trembled around her. She was the final light of the pharaohs, the last golden chapter in Egypt's divine story. She bridged worlds, Africa and Europe, gods and mortals, wisdom and empire. Though her throne is dust and her city in ruins, her spirit endures. Every dawn upon the Nile still whispers her name, Cleopatra, the queen who ruled not through beauty, but through brilliance, not through conquest, but through vision. Sun with face Cleopatra, the last pharaoh of the sun, a queen eternal, a legacy that flows forever like the Nile.
247travelers.com